It's your boy Zay-P, Zay-P the I am. I am that I am, as you are that you are, for we are all that we are. And so your boy's back. I'm back today. What is being called for by source to come for me to share with the collective. So this is for all of us who are working towards alignment with our highest selves. And so initially, the first thing that I'm getting off the bat that is really coming forth is a message about patience and perseverance. There's an element and there is a level of trust required. There's an element and there's a level of willingness, of being open to the possibilities. So change is going to come regardless whether we want change to come or not. And change can be influenced by how we are being at any given moment. However, when we are in a position of resistance against the change, when we are in a position of trying to control how the change is enacted, we find ourselves in that place of resistance. We find ourselves constantly struggling, and we find ourselves working against the grain, aka trying to swim upstream through downstream currents, right? And so at this time, especially with the changing energies, we're moving into a phase of retrogrades, multiple retrogrades, not just Mercury retrogrades. I believe it's Mercury, Mars. There are a couple of other planets that are retrograding. But the insight's coming forth that it's a very much a pause. And we've been in this pause state just with regards to the entire COVID, the entire lockdown. We've been in this pause place where there have been cycles, right? So there was a particular portion that was all about doing shadow work. And then there was a particular portion that was all about releasing. We're coming to a place of continued pause, but the work is changing from doing shadow work, doing the releasing, to now the reflections. When we have these retrograde cycles, the caution and the guidance is always to take time to stand still and reflect. Ponder on the lessons that have been learned. Ponder on the changes that have been taking place. Ponder on where you fit in within the changing atmosphere around you. You're being called to really look at this and see how you yourself can adapt to these changes. As these changes become permanent in your situation, perhaps somebody lost a job. Maybe that job is not coming back after COVID. It is a possibility. What will you do in that respect, knowing that this could be a situation where this person will be around you all the time, where this person will be on top of you, where your personal space, as far as the king of your domain or queen of your domain, however you see it, is now having to be more of a shared space because maybe your partner or spouse or significant other is always there, right? So we're being asked to look at this at this time and reflect on these things. Likewise, if maybe you are working and you've lost work and you've had to transition, and now we're seeing the talks of things opening up. Maybe those jobs will not return. Maybe you don't want to return back to the job that you was in because you had this time, right? You've had the time to do your shadow work. You've had the time to do your releasing. So now maybe in this reflection stage, you get to look at and make a decision as far as, do you really want to go back? Do you maybe have other opportunities or other avenues that you're interested in exploring that maybe this time has provided you the space to look into? So as we move forward with these retrogrades in action, the retrogrades are always about stopping and really looking at our surroundings, looking at what we've recently gone through and how these changes will affect us, how these changes will affect us going forward. So the guidance from Spirit is to really take this time now to start doing that work, start doing the work of looking around and coming to terms with what is, with the changes that have been made, and how you yourself want to adapt and how you yourself want to fit in and mold in that It's fear, right? And so with that, that's the current guidance that I'm getting from spirit, is to know that it's kind of like a hurry up and wait game, right? Where it's been like, hurry up, we want to get through this whole COVID thing, we want to get through this whole lockdown thing, and then it's like, okay, just 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks becomes 4 weeks, and then 4 weeks becomes 6 weeks, and everything's shut down, everything's locked down, what are we gonna do? And then we have this period for shadow work, then we have this period for release, now we're getting this period for reflection. So with that, you want to really take this time to start to discern, because we are going to be slowly tapering out of the whole lockdown thing, and things are going to start to reassimilate. Things won't be 100% the way they were. Some jobs may not come back. Some jobs will come back. Things will be transformed. New skill sets will be required. New ways of being, new ways to approach life. So this is your prep time. This is your prep time, and this is why these retrogrades come in, because if we are so busy trying to do and take action without taking that pause, usually with the retrogrades, we find that we get smacked in the face. So you don't want to get smacked in the face because you haven't taken the time to pause and reflect and allow the energy of the retrogrades to do what they do. And that is really just to cause you to see what is now, what is present, without the attachments of what was, without the attachments from the shadow work and from the releasing that you did. Okay, I'm in this new spot here and now. What is going forward? Where do I want to be? How do I want to be? And that's what you want to use this time for currently. So I really felt called to just kind of bring that initial message in with regards to the retrogrades that's coming up, and then also this message of patience and persistence, and this idea of needing a sense of allowance, needing a sense of releasing of control, needing a sense of willingness to see what that exploration is, to see what that particular to see how the changes have affected your life and how you fit in. You have to be willing to do that, right? So if you've done your shadow work, if you've done your releasing, you're going to be more willing to see where you fit in, how you fit in, and what you can best do. But if you have not done that stuff, you're going to be more in a place of still trying to control, still trying to resist, and still trying to fight the current times, which, not to say it's good or bad, but the question is always, does it serve you? Does it serve your highest good? Is that really what you want? You can do all of the fighting and resistance. I don't want this. I don't, but the changes are coming in regardless. So you really want to take that time, and you really want to try to open yourself up to possibility. So if you're opened up to the possibility of change, you can usually influence change to be positive or to be in your favor. But if you're not open to the possibility of change, then you're in a place of resistance, and change tends to smack you across the face. So this is kind of a bit of a heads up. We're kind of in another holding phase. It's still a holding phase, as all of this has been, but this feels a little bit more preparatory and more, what do you want to be once this whole thing is completed? Because it's feeling like now that we're entering into the summer, now that we're entering into June, going into July, things are starting to open up. There are going to be things established, old things established, new things established, but there will be changes. It's not going to be the way it was. And this is the time for you to really get in where you fit in. Decide what you want to do. Decide how you want to be, and make those moves from there. Let's see if there's anything else coming from Spirit. And I'm hearing share. We all need to take time to share our gifts, share our light, share of ourselves. A lot of us feel so kind of useless and so kind of in a scarcity place, right? Oh, people are not making money. We're all waiting for stimulus checks, or some people are making money, but it's not as much as they made, or whatever the case may be. And so many of us are feeling in this like kind of lack state. And I keep hearing Spirit say, share what you have. The more you can share, the more you can step into your own abundance. So when we say share, like, there's so much more to you than just finances. There's so much more to you than just what can I give monetarily, right? Whether it's you can share insight, whether it's you can make somebody laugh, whether it's you can make somebody feel good, whether it's you can share your space or your home to a loved one. Maybe they need to get away because domestic violence is spiking with everybody at home so much. Or maybe you can share some masks and gloves. What do you have of yourself that you can give willingly, freely, and with love? The more you can do that, the more you can step into that, the more you can experience your own abundance. Once you start to experience your own abundance, the more you kind of up level. And as you experience your own abundance, you start to create more abundance, right? So the more you are in that space of, oh, wow, I really am abundant. Even though I may not have the finances, I'm abundant in these ways. I'm abundant because I'm funny and I make people laugh. I'm abundant because I share spiritual or uplifting things and that helps people, right? I'm abundant because I give love to all my friends, whatever it is. The more you can step into that, the more you kind of create with that energy, the more you start to see your abundance grow, right? So that's going to start to translate into, people will start to return that energy. The universe and the world around you will start to manifest more, because as you give, so you shall receive. This is like one of the laws of the universe. This is kind of just how things work. If you're sitting in that scarcity place, and you're kind of closing yourself up and closing yourself off, you're kind of sticking within this fearscape. You're kind of sticking within this the negative aspects of all this lockdown COVID-19 thing. So you really want to start to try to open yourself up, open up that heart space, come out of yourself a little bit more, and be more present with how you can give and how you can give generously and abundantly. Check the mindset. It's just a mindset. We can see all of this as really, really negative. We can see all of this as positive. There are those of us who have taken this time and who have been doing our due diligence to build and to create and to figure out plans and next moves, and who is using this time to open things up in our lives. And there are those of us who have been stressing and under the gun and feeling like this is just affirmation of how hellacious the world is. For both individuals, they're both correct, right? Whether you think you can or you think you cannot, you are correct. So if you are mindful in your mindset and you are recognizing that, okay, this has been an opportunity for me to just chill or rest. One of my nephews, a couple of my nephews actually, they're big blue collar guys. They're driving trucks, they're out here doing UPS, they're doing all the blue collar jobs, and a lot of them were more than happy to just be able to chill, to finally just get some rest, to just spend some time with their newborns, with their babies, right? And while there has been a little bit of the financial crunch, there has still been a lot of people who's been able to embrace that side to say, this is great. I love the fact that I get to just chill a little bit and I get to spend a little time with the kids and I get to do this, right? So if you can get your mindset into a space where you can recognize the blessings in all of this, when all of this ends, you're going to be that much more abundant and prosperous out of it, right? So yeah, this is it's still a holding space, but we're shifting to more preparatory to come out of this. And you want to kind of have your mindset in a way that you can recognize there have been some blessings that you've been kind of cultivating, you've been planting your seeds, things are starting to grow. So when you come out of this, you're going to really experience more abundance, all right? So that was pretty much the guidance that I was getting from Spirit with regards to just where we're at currently.